Good evening, viewers, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those who know me, my name is vicslanghope, and I'm here to talk to you today about why I converted to Islam. When I first went to prison, I was Christian, I was Catholic. That's what I was like raised upon, Christianity. And when I went to prison, I knew I wasn't going home. So it's like, you start to search for like that higher power, like, that might be the only type of help. You start to seek hope, prayer, and all these different things that, what I'm saying, like you kind of like ignore or might have neglected in the street. So, I was seeking the higher power, and what I knew was Christianity. But the more I went into the books, the more they started to push me in like the direction of Islam. And in prison you have more ability to find out more about Islam than like in the streets. I mean, not more in the streets, but like it's more in your face when you go to prison. And a lot of misconceptions were that because I was in the gang and I was scared and I was this and I was that, and that was something that I had to overcome. In the beginning of me being a Muslim, it was a lot of like, had to put my pride to the side because I wasn't really scared of nobody. But people gonna talk, people gonna say whatever they're gonna say. So Islam actually liberated my mind. It actually liberated me because I realized that, like, as I started to look more into history, I seen that religion was also used, the religion of Christianity was also used to further domesticate the slaves that were here. So I had to, like, once I was rid of that mental enslavement of Christianity, I was able to move forward. The more I kept reading about Christianity, the more I kept realizing that Christianity wasn't really making sense, and it had a lot of contradictions. Because I was studying the book. Most people don't really study the book. They just get told to read a passage and then they go about their day. But I was in prison and I had a lot of time to study, and all I've known as my religion is the religion that they told me that I belong to. So I studied Christianity, and the more I studied Christianity, the more that it pointed me towards the direction of the Quran. And I remember reading this book one time that said that God had a last message, and that God's last message was that everybody should be a one religion, and what better religion than Islam, because it means submission to the will of the Creator. And that made a lot of sense, at the time, and it still does make sense today. That because people have went astray in the past, God sends another messenger. But one thing I realized is that after my conversion to Islam, like, a lot of things started to make sense. A lot of things were started to be clear. And when you look at history, some people want to be talking about spirituality and that there's a difference. But in all reality, there's not really a difference between spirituality and religion. Religion is just a way of life and the way that you live and the way that you do things. So people try to separate the two, but the reality is that Christianity was also used to enslave us and enslave our minds, especially here in the Americas. So I think when you think about the Crusaders and the conquest of Christianity, you had to take that into account. Constantly fight against Islam. And just like the white people here constantly fight, the white structure, white supremacy constantly fights against blacks and people that try to resist. So when you look at like history of Christianity, when you look at like the history of how they've been waging wars on Islam for like centuries, when you look at the Pope's role and like a lot of the shit that has going on in the world, even today, these countries that are waging war on Muslim lands are predominantly Christian countries. So it's a bigger thing that's going on, that we really have to like think about, when it comes down to these vicious people. Just sharing some information. Another thing that I learned in my quest for like the higher power was that, a lot of the slaves that were brought here from like the shores of West Africa were already Muslim. And, that also played a pivotal role in my conversion back to Islam. And another thing is when you look at like how the King James version, like how the Bibles was burnt up and the King James established his own version of the Bible, like it was a lot of things that happened with Christianity that kind of like took it away from its original natural form. So yeah, that led me into like the conversion of Islam, and there was times where I felt like I wasn't going to be able to go forward, and I was, because Islam was there. Islam helped me. When I was confronted with issues, I follow the guideline of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and even today I try to like my best to like uphold it, and it has definitely worked wonders for me, and you know have made my life better in a different way, like because the reality is like these people don't believe in God, like you know and Christianity allows them loopholes to kind of like change, alter, and do whatever it is that they want to do. Also, when we think about Christianity, when we think about manifest destiny and how Christianity kind of like allow these people, their belief in Christianity allowed them to kill indigenous folks, to enslave African people, to carry out every malicious thing you could think of. They have done it in the name of religion. So yeah, that's another thing that when you trace history, another thing that I pay attention to is how they constantly fight against Islam. But I just wanted to share that. You know, make sure you subscribe. You know, give me comments. I just wanted to share like some of the things that like made me convert to the religion. Make sure you subscribe, leave a comment, any suggestions. Make sure you look out. Thank you.